Hello everyone. Today it's still a bit rainy, but at least there's no wind, so I'm taking the chance for a video. I still have the animals, yes, don't worry, but I've left them inside now, so you can understand me better. Well, it's already almost the middle of February, and I'm fully immersed in all the spring preparations, as I mentioned, to really get everything properly organized now, to get everything prepared, to fertilize and so forth. And so I wanted to show you a few things that I'm doing right now. We've had a tremendous amount of rain, thankfully, in the past few months, and that's why everything is a giant muddy mess. Of course, the animals are also there where no grass grows, and that's why it's so muddy. But I'm naturally very glad that there's so much rain. So I'll show you a few things. So I've found another old bag here. Let's see what's inside. Yes, this is alginate. Alginate, that's a very good fertilizer. These are fossilized plants from a former lake. And any one of you who lives near Ballerton, near West Brem and Puller, should search for it online. You can buy this alginate everywhere there in sacks. And it's very good if you break it up into small pieces and then spread it over the soil. So it's best to do it in autumn. I didn't manage that this time, but it's fine. And then in winter it sinks deep into the soil and it becomes a fantastic fertilizer. But you can only really get it there in that specific region. Otherwise you'll have to have it delivered. You certainly can do that as well, but that's a completely different matter. Well, first of all, this garbage it was already full of holes. So I couldn't use it anymore to collect rainwater, but I used it as a compost bin instead, or repurposed it. I learned that from the Amish. The Amish are, especially when it comes to agriculture, truly very, very exemplary. Yes, and I close them sometimes, and other times I open them so that everything can ventilate well here. I've made holes everywhere, practically, so that there's good air circulation there. And once a week I give the whole thing a good stir. And I believe that now with a little added warmth, it will be able to decompose properly. I've also put kitchen waste in there, and I've added coffee grounds and other things. Now in winter I don't have any plants, but if I did, of course, I would sprinkle it directly onto them. Then you see here, as I said, how muddy it all is. It's not bad yet, but it's gotten a bit warmer again today. What's also very nice, of course, is that the well there, you see, has really a lot of water in it, at least a meter, more than last autumn when it was so dry. And with that, we're already moving on to the next topic. Something that always causes a great deal of discussion is the topic of wood ash. Since I do have this lovely wood-burning stove, the tiled stove, which you are already familiar with. And I have always managed things this way in recent years, that I take this wood ash in autumn and winter, which is, of course, during the heating season, when a lot of it is produced, and spread it directly onto the field. And then it practically decomposes in the soil throughout the winter until spring. And for me, it has never caused any damage whatsoever. Of course, I always scattered it a little everywhere, so evenly and never in a large pile. And I have had very good experiences with this method. Alternatively, you can also ferment the charcoal. This has to be done indoors with warmth and so forth. But that is, of course, yet another additional task. And as a gardener or a self-sufficient person, one naturally already has plenty to do. But then when the season starts, you could apply it directly to the plants, and then this ash won't be nearly as aggressive. So I think you essentially have two main options here. Either you spread the wood ash evenly throughout your garden in winter, well before the season begins, and then it will naturally decompose in the soil, causing absolutely no harm. Or you can choose to ferment it and then apply it to the plants, and it won't cause any harm. And what I also learned from the Amish, and will definitely keep, is the coffee grounds. And naturally in winter there are no plants, so I put it in my compost bin. But now, as soon as the first plants are out, I will naturally apply this to them. Now, of course, is the big preparation. So I am here in eastern Hungary, 20 kilometers from Tiszafüred, And I have seen the soil at Ballerton. I have seen the soil elsewhere. This isn't what you'd call black earth, of course, but I still think this soil is very good, especially when you compare it to the clay soil, because there aren't any stones present here. For instance, if you were to visit Kumaderash, you can certainly Google that name. Kumaderash, there's truly black earth there, and that is of course much, much better, but there are also many people from that old established population layer, and that's naturally not so good if they are so concentrated in that area. So what they're saying over there is you head out in the morning to do your grocery shopping, and by the time you get back, when you return from your shopping, it's entirely possible that someone has already fixed your window for you. That means you really have to stay inside your house constantly, and in that situation, even the fertile black soil is of no benefit. And that's precisely why here in my specific community, we experience absolutely no issues whatsoever with this particular demographic. Of course, there are some individuals, but they simply go about their own business. We go about ours, and there's truly no problem at all. First, regarding the soil quality, I've continuously spread all the manure from the pigsty and the rabbits here. You see this front area